Yes, people, what is happening? And welcome to another episode of Royalty Talks Boxing, proudly brought to you by Evolve Boxing Gym in Amersham, Hunters Weatherby, and Forrestal and Sons. Now, it's only usually one episode a week, but there has been a blow up on Instagram. As we know, I interviewed a man, Kingsley Egbunike, in the week, and here is the man joining me. He is the Southern Area Super Welterweight Champion, Jordan Dujon. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me, mate.
No, I'm good, mate. I'm glad. Look, mate, it's a pleasure to have you. Obviously, look, to get a champion on the channel is it's an honour, mate. So thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Now, listen, let's go back. You know, every boxing podcast the same. Let's talk about how you started boxing. So how did it all come to you?
You know what, mate? It's actually funny enough. So 5 years ago, as it happens, AJ won his first world title, 2016. I remember watching one fight. I can't remember which one it was, but straight off the back end of that, I was just like, I could do boxing. And then, yeah, just walked into a West Ham boxing gym. And that's where I'm at today. Yeah, just saw the fight, thought I can fancy that. I could do that. And yeah.
That's mental. So who was what when he beat? That was Charles Martin, yeah?
Yeah, so he beat Charles Martin, I think 2016. But I didn't start boxing till 2017 or 18, one of them. 2017. Yeah, 2017.
So before he boxed Martin, you'd never put a pair of gloves on, never been in a ring, anything like that?
No, not for boxing. I've done some kickboxing for a few years, actually. I only ever had one bout for that. But it's a completely different sport, mate.
Well, getting kicked for starters, isn't you? That which ain't nice.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know, like people. Look, I'm a big AJ fan, and look, what he did against Usyk wasn't on as such, but it's the parts of what he's done. And like your story now, you know, you would have never had a Southern Area title if you'd have never sat there and watched him fight Charles Martin.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So, do you know AJ? Are you friends with AJ, or was you just watching that fight and it was a case of, oh, well, AJ's on, let's do it?
No, you know what it is? I just followed the hype. I mean, after the Olympics, I just followed his career. And then it was just one day out of the blue. I don't know if he had a documentary come out about his life and stuff. Maybe I just found some common ground to it. And I just thought, you know what? I could do this.
And now you're a champion. It's not bad, is it?
Yeah.
Big up AJ if you're watching this. Very unlikely, but there you go.
You never know, mate.
How long after setting foot in a boxing gym did you have your first amateur fight, mate?
Yeah, I'll say about 6 months or 5 months afterwards. Yeah, it was pretty quick.
And go well, amateur career, how was that?
Yeah. So in the space of 2 years, I was only amateur for 2 years. So my first year, I had, I'm gonna say 5 fights. It was probably it was 5 fights first year. Second year, I had 15. I won in London, then I won a national title, and then after the national title, I turned over straight away.
You are the first fighter I've ever interviewed that knows how many amateur bouts they've had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I said it to Kingsley the other day. I said to him, he said, 50 something. And then even Maxi, something like, you know, around this number. So well done. But mate, 20 amateur fights to then go straight into the pros is pretty impressive.
Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of people start boxing very young, so I'm not surprised that they don't remember, especially if they're up in the 50s. But yeah, mine's only a couple of years ago, so I've got no excuse.
So what made you make that decision after 20 fights to go, do you know what, I'm going to go pro? Because you've made the decision when you've watched AJ. Are you just one of them that are you quick at what you do, quick at going, learning?
You know what it is? I wouldn't even say I'm a quick learner. I think I'm just someone, I'm always critiquing myself. And I'm always just striving for perfection. So I always give myself 6 months, see how much I've developed in that time, and just keep pushing. And I know that all anyone ever told me was that pros is completely different to amateurs. So I thought, okay, I've got a fundamental boxing ability under me now. Let me just go straight over to professional.
Mate, that's good. I'm the same, you know, like obviously I've got my merchandise, my printing business, and still to this day I'm messaging fighters a week after they've got, how's the t-shirts, mate? Yeah, I haven't washed them yet, I haven't even worn them. And I'm like, well, can you wash them, please, so I know how they are? Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
It is good to be a perfectionist because, you know, if you don't go into something and want to do it well, what is the point in doing it? Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So look, you're into your career now, and obviously, as most people know, I look after a few journeymen. You boxed a man who I firmly believe, if you're a prospect, you test yourself against this man. He's a great man. He's a great fighter, Lee Hallett. How was that?
Yeah, no, Lee was good. It was a good fight, mate. It was a good fight. Yeah, no, Lee's he's a top guy. Yeah, I recommend anyone who's coming through, yeah, give him a fight because he's going to show you something different, especially if you're not used to fighting southpaws as well.
Did he pick you up at all?
Yeah, he did. He did try and pick me up actually, but I was a bit fatter than him, so I just leant down. But
He
yeah,
does it, mate. If anyone goes down, you see it. Lee just walks on. If you put your arms over him, he just comes up and he'll just pick you up. And it, mate, I've seen him fight. I don't know, in the last 2 months, probably 5 times.
yeah,
And people always look at me, when they see Lee and he gets called to the ring, or when they're in the ring, and they say, I think he's had 53 fights now and he's won one. A very good win as well against Harley Ben.
yeah.
People always say he's rubbish. Why is he fighting? Well,
yeah.
get in there and do it yourself then.
Well, I tell you what, I think genuine they get a bad rap because obviously they're on the road. They know what their job is, but a lot of their losses would be wins. But politics of boxing, yeah, because I've seen Lee beat some people, and should easily get a points victory, and I've seen it go the other ways. So,
mate,
yeah,
I see him box last week. I can't remember who he boxed, and they give it 40-36 to the other guy, and I just sat there ringside, and I had this person sat next to me, this lady, and obviously I was sat ringside, and she kept saying, "Why is he fighting? He's lost 49 fights or 50 fights, whatever it is." And I said, "Just watch him fight." And she went, "He's won that fight." And then when they read out 40-36, I look after Poochie as well, and they say to me that if they have a certain amount of fights where they don't win a round, according to the ref, they'll get called in. Something needs to change with the journeyman. Do you know what I mean? It's getting poor. But listen, moving on. Let's move on. So after that, you had another fight and you won, and then you boxed Kingsley Egbunike.
Yep.
In a 6-rounder at York Hall. So you got that decision on the night.
Yep.
Do you feel like you won that fight?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah. Well, look, we know why we're here. This is we're sitting here. We're talking obviously to discuss your career, but also obviously I had Kingsley on, and his exact words, not exact, but to the point where he felt like he won that fight and he knew he hurt you. What's your response to that?
He knew he hurt me. For
he
one,
said he knew he had you hurt.
First of all, you step in a boxing ring, you're gonna get hurt at some point. He caught me on my eye. I couldn't see where a shot was coming from, and I recovered literally a split second later. So to say that he hurt me, nah. If you can't see, that's one thing. Getting hurt, nah.
And do you feel he's obviously you feel like you won the fight, but do you see the argument of Kingsley thinking he won the fight?
No. Like I'm trying to. You know what it is? I watched that fight because I don't really watch back my fights, but I see someone said a comment, "Oh, Kingsley won." I thought, let me go back and watch it. No, I don't believe he won. No.
So if you was to score that fight, how would you have scored it yourself?
6 rounds. I won 4 rounds. He won 2.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
I
mean, everyone. I'll be honest with you, and I've said the same to Obi. Everyone I've spoke to have said, around this side, around that way. Some people have said 2 to you, 2 to him. So I haven't actually watched it, and I don't want to watch it because I want to see the big one for the English, which we will come on to. But it's good as well because there's no beef between you boys. You're both. When he spoke about you, I said, "Is there going to be any animosity?" And he said, "No, it's all respect, it's all love. It's just he's on the same path as I am." And obviously you've got that southern area, and he's not chose to go past that, but obviously where he had lost to you, he went straight into, I think he had a fight, then he boxed a 10-rounder because it was offered to him. So these things happen in boxing, and sometimes you see people just get rallied up for absolutely no reason, and I think they lose fight. I think this with Josh Warrington, I think he just goes into the ring too angry sometimes.
Yeah. Is you can't, as a professional fighter, you can't be angry like that because you're just blind. You don't see stuff when you're fighting. That was my mistake I made when I first started boxing. I thought I was Mike Tyson, was going to go out there swinging. Yeah, you can't do that. You just got to be cool, calm, and collected, man.
Take your chances and pick them, as a famous coach I once heard said. Right, so you beat Kingsley, and then you are mandated to fight Jack Martin.
Yep.
Southern Area title. Again, another fight I've seen loads about. It was close. It was this, it was that. How important was it to you, and how much did it mean winning that Southern Area title that night?
Yeah, it was massive. I mean, it's my first professional title, and to be honest with you, it meant more to my family than what it did to me. It was just more so seeing their reactions and what it meant to them. That was the best feeling of that. But yeah, the Southern Area was always just a stepping stone. Just keep pushing on to see how far my ability takes me.
Was it something that you always wanted to win?
The Southern Area.
Yeah, was it something? Did you want to go the traditional route? Is what I'm saying.
To me, I just wanted belts, mate. So it didn't really matter which way. I wasn't. I'm going to go the traditional route, international route. It just didn't matter. To me, it was whatever opportunity is presented, I'll fight anyone. So whoever's got a belt would match me up.
I do think the Southern Area is a very underrated title. You know, to win that belt. You know, one of my best friends, Jack Hughes, won it. I don't know if you know Jack. Super flyweight beat Paul Roberts. They had two absolute wars.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've seen better Southern Area fights than I've seen world title fights. And I genuinely mean it. And that might sound so silly, but it means so much, because some people that fight for the Southern Area, that's their limit.
Yeah.
You know, you've got this guy fighting on Saturday, Jimmy the Fist. He's a Northern Area champion, and now he's fighting on a boxer show against Corey Gibbs, I think it is he's fighting.
I don't know who either of them two
Now,
are.
they're like Northerners. I don't really know many Northerners, but he's 41 years old, and he won the Southern Area title at 40. And all of a sudden, he's got a chance at fighting on Sky Sports this Saturday. It's mental.
Yeah, that's crazy, because you think he's at the end of his career. Although he's just started, you'd think, yeah, that's
I think he turned over pro at 36 years old.
okay.
So,
Well,
but then you also get the people like you say, like yourself, and like Jordan Perkis, that win this belt and aren't interested in defending, aren't interested in staying at that level. Let's just move straight on.
Yeah.
So we talk about moving on. There's a rumour, obviously, look, English super welterweight champion is Sam Gilly, one of your good friends, stable mate. I see him doing snow angels on your Instagram. Absolute madman.
Yeah.
So if he was to vacate,
Yeah.
do you want your name to be thrown into the board's room of English title?
Yeah.
And obviously, the likelihood is that that opponent would be Kingsley Egbunike.
Mm-hmm.
So is that a fight that, you know, if RJ and Ross come to you and said about, you'd be happy to take again?
Mate, whoever's got, if he's my opponent to fight for the English, there's no question we're gonna fight. Whether it's Kingsley, whether it's this person, that person, it doesn't matter. It's literally whoever's in front of me, whoever's in the way, I'm fighting them.
Get through them and move on.
Yeah.
So see, when I spoke to Kingsley again, I'm going to do because this has been demanded, I'm going to go backwards and forwards. His words were, he's confident he would knock you out in that fight.
Yeah. Okay.
And what's your reaction to that? As I can probably gather, I've already seen.
Yeah. I'll stick it on him. Listen, 3 rounds. That's all that fight's going.
You knock him out in 3 rounds?
Yeah, 3 rounds. 3 rounds.
I didn't expect this one to go like this. So why do you knock him out in 3 rounds?
Because I'll stick it on him. He's got no arsehole. I'm not even trying to be fair. I just got rattled up so easily. But yeah, no, listen, I'll stick it on him. And I'm not someone to I'm a counter puncher, and I'm happy to sit back and box all night. But when we start talking about fighting talk now, like I've not had a press conference, I've not had interviews. It's normally just get in the ring, just fight the person. And I'm just happy to just outpoint, score people. But if we're talking about fighting now, and we can do that, let's do that.
So you say that, in the words for the quote, it goes 3 rounds, no further. He has no arsehole.
It's not going 3 rounds.
Okay. And has that fight been spoke about? Like, with, you know, a quick shout out to your trainers, RJ and Ross Pierce. How important are they to you, and how do you think how far can they take you?
How far can it take me? To be honest with you, that it's something that the level for myself, I don't think they really know where I'm capable of getting to yet. Because I'm someone, I'm always learning, always adapting. My style's always changing. I think just keep going. I reckon I can go all the way. I can go all the way.
So Well, obviously, look, I wish you all the best. Obviously, I know a few people that know you. SWS is a huge fan of you. Why have you always been with Ross and RJ?
No. So I initially started my career off with Mickey Amu and junior and senior. After my Carl Fell loss, it wasn't even any bad blood or anything. My trainer at the time, he just had some things going on in his personal life. He just didn't have enough time to train me and some other pros that was there. So it was a case of just, all right, lads, if you want to continue your career, just go out and look for another trainer, someone who's going to give you that time. So yeah, that's what that was.
I know Carl Fowle well. Well, no, I don't know him well. Jack, like I said, trains in the same gym, and from what I've seen of Carl, he's a pretty tasty fighter, if I'm honest. So
yeah, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter.
was that ever something? So when you went with Ross and RJ, was that something that was discussed? Obviously, that rematch, or
It's not been discussed, no. But I have told them that at some point in my career that yeah, I'd like to run that back.
okay? So if he was to fight Carl again, what happens in that fight?
Yeah, I win the second one. I win the second one.
That's good. There's no beef in that one.
No, listen. With boxing, I think it's very rare you're gonna find someone that you actually have a beef with because you don't know them personally. Like Ebby, I mean, although he said that, it's fighting talk. Literally, like we're in the ring to fight. That's what our jobs are. But personally, I would probably could have a drink after. Like, there's no animosity. I don't know him to not like him. Same with Carl Fell, or same with whoever I get in with. There's no beef. It's our job, innit?
No, it's good. I always like to see, you see it a lot with the journeyman. They're having a beer with the guy they fought that night. But it is always nice to see, and people say, oh, it's fake. Look, they're shaking hands in the ring after the fight. So much can be taken out of context. Yes, look at Dillian White and Chisora. Fucking Chisora threw a table at him, and now they're friends. Like it's nice.
Yeah.
You don't want to see people hating each other after they fight.
Yeah. You know what it is? I mean, just amongst other fighters, you got respect. Like it takes a lot to be a professional boxer. Physically, mentally, it's a tough sport. So you can appreciate what the other man goes through.
100%, mate. I agree with you. I agree. So listen, mate. Is there anyone before we finish that you want to thank? Trainers, sponsors, friends, family, anything like that?
Yeah. Firstly, I'd like to thank my team, RJ's. The amount of time and effort that they put into me is a lot, so I'm very grateful to them. I'd like to say thank you to Mark, my sponsor. And yeah, that's pretty much it, mate.
Okay, mate. Well, listen, people, you heard it here first. Jordan has called it. If that fight is made, it is over in 3. Jordan, thank you for joining me, mate.
No problem.
I'm sure we'll speak again soon.
Yeah.
Take care, people.